Good evening, viewers. Welcome to today's edition of the news. First, the headlines. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addresses beneficiaries of Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Meghalaya government mulls monetary assistance for human ambulances, rendering yeoman services to the locals of 79 inaccessible villages during health emergencies. People's consent must for introduction of railways in Janta Hills, says Cabinet Minister Shilla. US President Joe Biden holds telephonic talk with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Malkarawat Civil Hospital successfully conducts first major surgery. Prime Minister today said that the result of the recent assembly elections have proved that the country believes in the central government and its schemes, and people through their decision proved that they only believe in the guarantee of Modi. Addressing the beneficiaries of Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra today through video conferencing, Prime Minister said that this yatra is a humble effort by him to reach to the citizens of the country. Mentioning the importance of Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra, the Prime Minister said that Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra has become an effective medium to reach to those people who had not received benefit of any government scheme. He also said that more than 1.25 crore people have reached to the Modi Ki Guarantee Wali Gari during Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. The state government is keen to recognize the services of a group of human ambulances rendering yeoman services to the locals of 79 inaccessible villages during health emergencies. Navigating kilometers of steep, rock and narrow winding paths with a heavy load on their back is still a reality for people of these 79 villages in Meghalaya. There is a group of good Samaritans who carry patients up to a motorable road during such times. Talking about her recent visit to Maukarwang village, Health Minister Ampareen Lingdaw said the government is working on a proposal to give some stipend to these good Samaritans. Meanwhile, the minister also informed that the State Health Advisory Board has been assigned a project on commercial sex workers given the increase in HIV/AIDS cases in the state.
Human ambulances that are also carrying these ailing and sick individuals or pregnant women to the nearest facilities, we must incentivize and have a systemic introduction of an amount that need to be given, an incentive that needs to be given to these individuals who do so much to save a life. And having experienced it firsthand gives me this opportunity to talk about it and discuss it. So all 79 hard to reach villages will not have the same topography or terrain.
Cabinet Minister Shilla on Friday said that the views of the people of East Janta Hills are important because before taking any steps to bring railways into East Janta Hills, stating that not everyone is supporting the idea of having railway in East Janta Hills, but not everyone is opposing it too. Meghalaya Cabinet Minister and United Democratic Party legislator from Clearriat constituency Shilla on Friday said the representatives of the East Janta Hills will hold a consultative meeting with the local people of East Janta Hills to seek their consent with regards to the state government's move to introduce railway lines in the district.
Because if we support blindly, it might affect later on, then we'll regrets. And if we are against for it, what if it is very good, and then we'll regret for it? I don't want my people to take a decision where it will affect them later, and then where they will regrets later. It has to be a combined, a combination of all the stakeholders, and then the public should come into one concern, and then either go for it or against it. We are the person who can give the information what we have heard from our district, bring it to the notice of the government, and then from the government bring it to the public. So we are like a delivery man in between. So for this is our duty to convince the people and then take the outcome of that meeting and then brought it to the notice of the government. So it has to be the concern of both of us.
U.S. President Joe Biden held a telephonic talk with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. During the conversation, Mr. Biden emphasized the critical need to safeguard civilians and keep them far from Hamas militants, especially through corridors. President Biden also expressed his concerns about the extreme violence against Palestinians and the need for greater stability in the West Bank. Just days after Chief Minister Conrad K. Sangma came out in defense of his sister and Lok Sabha member from Tura, Agatha Sangma, their elder sibling and former cabinet minister James P.K. Sangma has now given thumbs up to the MP, claiming that she has performed exceedingly well. BJP Meghalaya President Rickman Momen had recently voiced his displeasure with the performance of the current NPP MP from Tura. James also disputed claims that the majority of development projects are going to Garo Hills, stating that there is an equal amount of development throughout the state.
I don't know which BJP leader said this, but I think, unfortunately, he's very ill-informed. In terms of the implementation of centrally sponsored schemes, so many are taking place in Garo Hills. So it's very easy to criticize people, but I believe that any such criticism should be based on facts. Unfortunately, he has not done his homework. He's not really done proper research before making these statements, because I believe that there has not been any kind of, stop or slow down in terms of implementation of centrally sponsored schemes. Anything has to be substantiated by facts, and I can tell you, with a lot of confidence that that is not true at all. If we look at the amount of development that has taken place all across the state, I feel that today it is equitable, it is equal, and the pace of development has picked up. There is no doubt about that.
People from all walks of life were keen to avail information on various schemes provided by the Government of India, even as a large number of people thronged the Viksit Bharat Sankalp Yatra at Maolong Hut municipal parking lot today. People were seen inquiring about Aadhaar enrollment, the Ayushman Bharat scheme, the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana and other schemes. A free health checkup was also conducted on the occasion. Sitalin Linkoy, who received a sanction letter at the program under PM's Swadhidhi scheme, said that she is happy to be part of the program, stating that this money would help her in paying school fees for her children. Another beneficiary, Ihun Linkoy, who also received the sanction letter, said that this fund would be of great help for her.
Kamantoy hi kani kadolong kasi ngabening ko nga kani tangayo ngayo 10,000 tangayo penun kam ay by school eh.
Maukarwat Civil Hospital on Friday successfully conducted a first of its kind major surgery on a 72-year-old patient who has been living with pain for more than 50 years. Drimshon Shangdiar from Manat village, 25 kilometers from Maukarwat, was the first patient on whom the major surgery was conducted by a team of doctors of the hospital under the supervision of Medical Superintendent Dr. W. Sutanga. Shangdiar told media persons that he was suffering from the painful wound that he incurred while meeting with an accident while he was playing with fire when he was a child. Speaking about the surgery, Dr. Sutanga expressed happiness regarding the surgery.
Laki dah khating besar kan modern film malah siapa kerja kedang laraban Chat bentik dah kerja rim.
Ayah nak kerja.
Tanya bukan orang buat kerja dengan tanya piang.
Lower leg. Di menta yung new patient nadu mencuang akan mau ulah julek isi civil hospital. Di ngila pani ban pui aslam nadu bangatam dan mengapa civil hospital tunggu dan bayi yang bahasa yang lang banaya karai. Di menta usuan le dressing macam ni lah pahadu takapun ibu pandala dia ibu kuat ibu ngin belen orang ngila batai ibu. Let's say kapoi siya utaw put kalangan sini ka jingim jungu la banyo kita ka safety sini.
A sit-in demonstration was staged by the state BJP unit on Saturday in front of its headquarters in Shillong against corruption, highlighting the recent seizure of rupees 300 crores from the House of Congress Rajya Sabha MP Dheeraj Sahu at Ranchi. The protest in Shillong was led by State BJP President Rickman Momin and other top functionaries of the party. State BJP spokesperson M. Kharkrang said that the amount recovered from his residence is a proof of the corrupt practices the Congress indulges into and condemned the act.
It was on Wednesday in Jharkhand, where the residential premises and also the offices of an MP from Jharkhand who belongs to the Congress party were stashed and hundreds of crores were recovered, which were all unaccounted. This itself, the party has time and again been talking about the corruption which has been carried out by the various parties, especially the Congress party in the Congress ruled states. And this is the evidence in front of the people of India. So we have come here to condemn these kind of acts, and because whatever money that has been seized, these hundreds of crores, these belongs to the people of the state of Jharkhand and also the
Troubled by the unavailability of doctors in the PHCs and CHCs in the West Chanta Hills region, an NGO Nyotrap Achik National Movement on Friday met the Health Minister Ampreen Lingdor and sought her intervention. As speaking to newsmen, Nyotrap Achik National Movement Chairman of Employment Cell, Wiraiwan Sotan said that the region is troubled by the unavailability of doctors and usually can be found only once or twice a week. He said this is causing hardship to the people of the region. Talking about his meeting with the health minister, he said they have suggested that as far as possible doctors should be deputed to their respective villages and areas so that they are easily found when needed.
You know, it's very less. Suppose in a week, if you go doctor, sometimes you come in 2-3 days in a week. So it hampers, the health and the health and the problems of all the patients. Because without doctors, who will prescribe the medicines? Who will do the needful for all the minor injuries and everything? Who will take all those minor operations? So if they have a local doctor from nearby PHC or CHCs, he'll be available there. If not 24 hours, at least 12 hours a day he'll be available.
So you also.
In a dedicated effort to uplift the border communities and strengthen the bond between the Border Security Force and the local population, the 50th Battalion BSF orchestrated an impactful civic action program at BOP Bahadur on Friday. During this e-camp, a range of essential items including sports equipment, water storage tanks, bathing facilities and more were generously distributed among 39 diverse entities encompassing schools, panchayats, villages and local clubs. The weather report for today. The maximum temperature is 17.3 degrees Celsius and the minimum temperature is 9.8 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity in the morning was 80% and relative humidity in the evening was 88%. Forecast: light to moderate rainfall is very likely at few places. Now the headlines again. Prime Minister Narendra Modi addressed beneficiaries of Vikasit Bharat Sankalp Yatra. Meghalaya government mulls monetary assistance for human ambulances rendering yeoman services to the locals of 79 inaccessible villages during health emergencies. People's consent must for introduction of railways in Janta Hills, says Cabinet Minister Kirman Shilla. US President Joe Biden holds telephonic talk with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Malkarawat Civil Hospital successfully conducts first major surgery. Well, that's it for today's edition of the news. Thank you and have a great weekend.